Welcome to a Wednesday night of college basketball on ESPN+. It's Sun Belt Conference action. The Dukes of James Madison, they didn't make it home for the holidays. They have been on the road all this time, but they're back inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center. And today we'll meet the Thundering Herd of Marshall University. As the Herd comes in with a 3-game winning streak, the Dukes, well, they came off a big win at Arkansas State earlier this week, this year. And they are back in home action here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Hello, everyone. He is Steve Buckhantz, James Madison alum and former play-by-play voice of the Washington Wizards. I'm Kurt Dudley, and Kathleen Paulson also joins us today. Well, coming off a big win over Arkansas State, a big ball game for Cliff Davis.
That was a huge victory. I mean, most people felt it was a critical win for this JMU team. They had not won in the conference. They had dropped 3 straight. They needed somebody to step up, and Cliff Davis became the hero in that game. This guy hit some clutch shots down the stretch. He hit a gigantic three-pointer with a minute to play to put Madison up by 4. He knocked down a couple of huge free throws, finished with a season-high 24 points. He went 7 of 12 from the field and 5 of 7 from long range, and he literally helped JMU win that game, and it was a big win for this Dukes team. Meantime, Marshall had an impressive win over App State Saturday in Huntington. And if you're JMU, you better guard this guy, Jalen Spear, who also drained some big shots, had 21 points in the game, but he can do it all. He's their primary playmaker on the squad, one of the leading assist men in the country, and this week, the Sun Belt Player of the Week. So the Herd want to make this a track meet. The Dukes want to grind it out. Buckle up, because this one could be interesting.
All righty, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team here on this evening, and she is Kathleen Paulson with insights from our coaches. Good evening, Kathleen.
Thanks, Kurt. JMU Nation is pumped for the Dukes to be playing again in Harrisonburg tonight. For James Madison, head coach Preston Spradlin emphasized keeping the tempo in this game and staying consistent defensively. He said that they need to capitalize on these strengths against the powerful Marshall team tonight. Spradlin added that his team is pumped to be playing in Harrisonburg again, saying that they are taking lessons from being on the road and applying them to their return home. For Marshall head coach Corny Jackson, he said that it's going to take a lot of focus from his guys to play well against the Dukes. They've been on the road, and James Madison is going to have a lot of extra momentum against Marshall, returning to their home turf. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. Indeed, the Dukes back at home for the first time since December the 6th. That was a victory over Norfolk State. That ball game here in Harrisonburg. Our crew chief calling tonight's ball game from the officiating standpoint is Garrick Shannon, Derek Schulte, and Roderick Dixon.
And once
the other
again,
court judges.
Excuse me, Kurt, Marshall does not have their 7'4" center. At least we don't know if he'll play spotty, but he played only a minute in that win over App State, and then tweaked his ankle again when one of his teammates inadvertently hit it.
Yeah,
and he's out.
Yeah, Matt Van Komen not getting the start here. He did come out late to warm up. Let's take a look at the starting 5 for the Dukes, presented to you by Atlantic Union Bank. Bradley Douglas, Cliff Davis, Eddie Ricks III, Justin McBride, and Gabe Newhoff. And a first foul is called on Caleb Hollenbach.
Yeah, he's the guy that tweaked the ankle of Van Komen in that game. Obviously not on purpose, but well, without the big 7'4" guy, and this one of the top rim protecting teams in the country.
Yeah, he averages he has one of the top scoring blocking averages in the country. Picking right up where he left off is Cliff Davis of James Madison, averaging at 12.8 points per game. Here's the starting lineup for the Marshall Thundering Herd, already putting points up on the board.
Yeah, the Dukes didn't get back in transition, and Wyatt Fricks had an easy layup.
Well, Fricks has already scored as many as he did the last time that he played the Dukes. And off the defensive rebound, here come the Marshall Thundering Herd. The Herd, #1 in the Sun Belt in three-pointers made, #3 in three-point attempts, and #1 in three-point shooting at 36%.
They turned the ball over, just went out of bounds. Good free throw shooting team. Free throws could have helped the Dukes last week at Arkansas State. They missed 10 of them. Could have made it a lot easier on themselves had they made them.
It's a Marshall team that doesn't get a lot of free throws, but when they do, they're very accurate. Davis make that. Bradley drops it off. A turnover for the Dukes, picking up the loose basketball. Chudy. And the skip pass here to the near side. Early going of this ball game. 12th all-time meeting between the programs, and the shot up by Noah Ochudi, a senior from Hamilton, Ontario, went to Western University at first, which is midway between Detroit and Toronto.
Had a big game against App State, 17 points, was 7 of 10 from the field.
It is Newhoff coming off a pretty good ball game. Pass is stolen away as it goes ahead to Hollenbach.
That's 2 turnovers in a row for JMU.
Empty possessions for James Madison. Has them down 4-2, and there is the dunk put in by Eric Harding.
It's a Marshall team that last week in that win over App State had 3 guys foul out of the game. You don't see that very often, but they still hung on to win it.
That stays in possession of James Madison. Coach Preston Spradlin patrolling the sidelines for the Dukes in his second season at James Madison, 28-19, so just a shade below 600, his winning percentage here at JMU, coming in from Morehead State 2 years ago. Davis with the basketball out top, gets the screen from Newhoff, backs it up, takes the 2. That's off the iron, chased out of bounds, last touch by the Dukes.
In the last game, as you look at Corny Jackson, the head coach at Marshall, in his second year, was an assistant there under Dan D'Antoni. Gabe Newhoff in that game last week, Kurt, was really active to begin. I mean, he was unbelievable. He hit 7 of 9 from the field and was very aggressive in the low post. The Dukes don't have a lot of production from the inside game, but they did against Arkansas State. In the second half, he only scored a free throw, didn't score a point.
He was 7 for 9 from the field in that ball game for 15 points. There's Fricks, fires up the tray and hits it. Fricks with an early 5 points. Played 31 games for this team last year. Interrupted for a career-high 34 against the Phoenix of Elon. Long-range 3, no good. A rebound is ripped down by Jalen Spear.
It's the other thing that hurt JMU last week. Even though they won the game, they were out-rebounded on the offensive glass 19-7. So you got to try to get some more second-chance opportunities and get some of those offensive boards.
Cliff Davis will bring it across for the Dukes. Needs some help, gets it from freshman Christian Brown, who has checked in. Bradley Douglas has the ball taken away, reaching in and cleanly swiping it is Harding. Dukes turning the basketball over several times here in the opening minutes. Another 3-pointer that rattles down by Wyatt Fricks.
And Preston Spradlin's got to take a break here. They're not covering on defense and turning the ball over at a wicked rate so far in this game, and down by 10.
It all adds up to a 12-2 lead. 3 turnovers for the Dukes in a 3-minute time span. And meanwhile, for the Thundering Herd, 5 out of 6 from the field, including 2 out of 3, both by Wyatt Fricks from beyond the arc.
Both these teams really protect the rim well. In fact, Marshall's the top rim protector in the Sun Belt Conference, and JMU is right behind them. But you can't turn the ball over and give teams second chance or opportunities, and they're making the most of these turnovers right now.
Dukes lead the all-time series 8-3. Series that didn't begin until 2010. They played each other twice that year. Matt Brady was the head coach at JMU at the time. They both won on their home courts as they met twice in December of 2010. You see the last game won by the Dukes by a close score of that game in 2010. Very nearly the same score.
You mentioned Christian Brown earlier. He had a couple of massive blocks in that game at Arkansas State.
He's one of the top shot blockers among freshmen in the country. Douglas fires up a 3. Ball is tapped out.
You'd like to see him get going, Kurt, because he did not have a good game at Arkansas State, was 1 of 5 from the field. We talked to Spradlin about that. He said he's just got to keep his confidence up because obviously he's a very good player.
Yeah, they just hope that's an anomaly for him. There's a foul on the floor called against Cliff Davis, and that is his first team foul for the Dukes. Number 1 as well. Checking in is Landon Joseph. Hit for 22 points and a 104-78 loss to Virginia over in Charlottesville back in November, nearly 2 months ago.
Good defensive player, too. He had 4 steals in a game against Georgia State back on December 31st.
Freshman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Has some family in attendance today. Here's Spear. Drops off the pass into the corner. Fricks fires it up. That is short. Eddie Ricks with a rebound for James Madison. Ricks over to Davis. McBride. McBride has been on a hot streak scoring for the Dukes. Has won a Sun Belt Player of the Week honor this season as well. Davis falls but gets some help. It's Brown. Freshman hands it off to Douglas. Over to Brown. Brown hits the floor, goes back up with a shot, and the 7'4" Van Komen, a transfer from Elon, grabs the easy rebound.
I know they're happy to see him be able to play. They'll probably use him spotty in this game because of the injury. He's had ankle problems much of the season, but that's a great opportunity for them.
McBride tosses up a three-pointer well off the rim. And back we go the other way, 12-2. JMU struggling out of the gate here at home. Again, they haven't played here since December 6th, so in some regards they may feel like they're not playing at home.
Well, and also the students are still out on break, so it's a spotty crowd right now.
There's a block. That is Brown again. A little help there for the Dukes on the opposite side also. Here's Eddie Ricks. Streaks through, and a blocking foul is called. Ricks will score the bucket.
Yeah, he's inside the circle, so good defensive stance and good concentration to finish strong and get the layup. He'll go to the line for one.
So 14:45 to go, 12-4 our score in the first half of play. As the Thundering Herd had thundered out to the early lead.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Break away to what's possible with Tremfya. With symptom relief as early as 4 weeks, remission at 12 weeks, and lasting remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible healing of the intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today.
AHS presents the ups and downs of homeownership. The water heater isn't working, and you don't know what to do. But AHS can help in real time over video chat. Fix it over video chat with American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Hyatt Place Harrisonburg. We care for people so they can be their best. And JMU Athletics would like to thank its Team Madison sponsors. They are Pepsi and Centera. Welcome back to the campus of James Madison University. Sun Belt men's basketball action tonight.
You know, both these teams, Kurt, have done a pretty good job this year at protecting the basketball. The Dukes average a little over 11 turnovers a game, and the Herd just over 13. But so far, James Madison's committed 3 turnovers, and the Herd have capitalized. They've scored 7 points off of those mistakes. So they've got to do a better job of controlling and protecting the basketball.
Yeah, the Herd off to a 56% shooting from the field as Eddie Ricks completes the three-point play.
Both teams shot it impressively in their last game, over 50%. And that's JMU is a three-point shooting team. They've got to be hitting from the outside to be in games.
There they throw the alley-oop underneath, and it goes to Harding. And he comes up with his second field goal of the day. You know, with that big 7'4" guy in there, and Komen, they have a game around him, but it doesn't always involve him. They will go over the top quite often with other personnel. We saw it right there.
Yeah, Harding is good. He's a good player. He fouled out of the last game, but he's a good player.
Back in the lineup for the first time in 2 games, Paul Jones III sat out the game at Arkansas State because of the injury. And on the move for the Dukes, a strong move, but a little too powerful. Eli Wilbon. Shot clock violation. The ball continues on the run. Here is Frick on the run. That deadens off the back of the rim, and the rebound is corralled. Preston Fowler and the Dukes. Here's Ricks, finds himself open, and he lays it up and in.
Yeah, good aggressive penetration in transition down the court. Ricks gets an easy 2.
Give Bradley Douglas the assist on that bucket. 14-7. Marshall with 13.5 to go in the opening quarter. Dropping it on back. The screen. Spear takes it down low again. It goes to Harding. There's the freshman Preston guarding, and it's another rebound for Eddie Ricks. That's his third board already this evening. Spradlin, or make that Preston Fowler a three-point shooting threat from beyond the arc.
Too many Prestons.
There are, yes, that's right. I've been good at keeping them separated thus far this season.
Wow.
Bodies hit the floor, and Wilbon, he is shaken up a bit. It's 5-on-4 at the other end, and they have stopped play.
Well, he hit the floor very hard. There was no foul called, and he's still down at the JMU end of the court.
Corey Kaplan, the trainer, has come out to take a look at him. Well, he did hit the floor very hard. You could feel the vibration.
Yeah, it was, you could feel it, and it was loud. He's checking his left ankle.
Wilbon, a junior from Middletown, Connecticut, a transfer from Duquesne, so a former Duke of Duquesne. Here it is inside. Well, you could pick your body part the way he hit the floor.
Yeah, you're right. He came down on everything, but hopefully he can walk that off, and to see him walking out on his own is a good sign for JMU. Marshall built up a big lead against App State the other day, 17 points, but they let the Mountaineers back in the game, and they actually cut it to 2. But again, Spear was so enormous in that game and wound up making 4 of 6 three-pointers, 21 points, and they hung on to win that game.
Dukes have sent Newhoff back out there. Also, you'll see out on the court, number 12, Kosei Egbule, who played valuable minutes in the ball game on Saturday, and a jump ball favors Marshall.
That's Shamari Hugie, who got in there to tie up the Dukes, and the possession arrow goes to Marshall. That's a good play off that rebound.
2 seasons at Cowley College for Hugie. They get it in, and Hugie scores it.
That's just a bad mistake. Let somebody come in that open on the inbounds under the basket.
16-7 our tally. Here to the right wing, it's Fowler. And a bumping foul called against Hugie. That's his first, team foul number 2.
At 12 points against App State.
As he told us on Monday, you can't run out of energy. That's what his coach tells him. Hugie just brings a lot of energy onto the floor. He considers that to be one of his real values to this team.
Yeah, he said he learned a lot coming from a JUCO school in Kansas and trying to build here on consistency and energy at this level. And now another collision and a foul.
Yep. And this will go against Landon Joseph. That is his first. Oh, beg your pardon. That is his second, actually, and the 4th against the Thundering Herd. Inbounds underneath the Duke's basket. 20 to shoot.
Nice.
Finds Fowler.
Beautifully done. Great cut to the basket by Fowler.
Fowler's averaged 5.5 points over the last 6 games. He averages that for the season as well. Cuts the lead down 16-9. Hugie. Screen action. Here's a long-range tray off the mark, and a few misses in succession for the Thundering Herd. Chance for James Madison to cut it a little closer here. McBride lost the handle on the basketball. Pass came up a little flat.
Yeah, it's a tough pass to handle, and another turnover.
Timeout on the floor. 11:54 to play in the first half. Marshall has slowed down just a bit, but the Dukes have only caught up so slightly. It's 16-9 at this media timeout.
We all have our own way of waking up. Whatever gets you going, keep doing it. And when it comes to banking, you should get to do things your way too. With someone you trust, who's there when you need them. Atlantic Union Bank.
Here's what we recommend.
Any way you bank.
Glow Fiber is proud to support the JMU Dukes. Have you experienced simply brilliant fiber internet? That's Glow Fiber, lightning-fast internet that keeps up with your busy life. A reliable fiber-to-the-home network, whether you're working, learning, playing, or streaming. Glow Fiber has real local support from real people who are happy to talk to you. Switch now for your first month free. Faster, more reliable fiber internet with real local support. Glow Fiber, simply brilliant. Go Dukes!
For JMU, Justin McBride has really been showing up and showing out, leading them offensively, averaging 17.2 points per game this season. Versatility and being able to adapt in high-pressure situations are his biggest strengths. And Coach Spradlin talked to me about how coachable McBride is. He's eager to get better and is a team player. He added that McBride has been one of his top 5 favorite players to coach in his career, which says a lot.
He's played in double figures 11 straight games and only once has been below 10 points this season.
Yeah, leading scorer on the team. I would say he's the rock of this squad, wouldn't you, Kurt?
Oh, yes, I think so. Driving to the rim, and a rough rebound comes out. Egbele, right side. Fowler launches the triple, and it is picked up by Newhoff off the glass. Egbele, he tries the three. Needed another inch or so.
Wow.
Fowler with a rebound.
What a rebound. That was impressive.
Backs it out to Newhoff. Fowler, step back, hits the floor. Ball hits the floor and knocked out of bounds off McBride, having a hard time corralling the basketball tonight.
Good, though, to see them get some of these offensive rebounds. That's big. You got to give yourself some second chance opportunities.
That's 3 offensive boards for the Dukes, but no second chance points actually for either team as we approach 11 minutes to play here in the period. Offensive rebound for the Thundering Herd. Another 3 by Frick. And the Thundering Herd has gone a little cold from beyond the arc here recently.
Of course, they want to run. They want this to be a track meet. JMU doesn't want to run. They will when they get the opportunity, but they'd rather slow it down and grind it out.
Marshall has missed its last 4 and has hit only 1 of its last 8 shots. That's inside and outside. McBride over the top goes to Newhoff. Newhoff tries to get Frick back out, and he can't get it to go. Oshude comes down the floor with it, now to Frick, picked up by McBride. A launch shot, another miss. That's 1 out of the last 9, and 0 out of the last 5 for the Thundering Herd. Score holds at 16-9. McBride, one-handed shot.
Boy,
Fricks with the rebound.
There's a lid on both rims right now.
You know, Dukes have missed their last 4 shots. Under 10 minutes to go. Spear has been quiet thus far. Weave action up top. And another miss. Egbele comes down with a weak side rebound. Coach Preston Spradlin telling to clear out on that side, trying to dump it off into Newhoff, and he is fouled. Just a mass of bodies inside, and this may be against Harding.
That's what he did against Arkansas State on Saturday. He was aggressive. He's a big guy, used his body, his physicality to get to the rim and really get some inside shots. He went 7 of 9 in that game, but now he's at the free throw line.
Check that on the foul that was given to Fricks, so that's his first.
Gabe just a 57% free throw shooter. The Dukes collectively shoot 71% from the line. Marshall shoots 75%. But they, as you mentioned before, they don't get to the line that often, about 18 times a game, which is the second fewest in the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah, it's quite the contrast there. You would think with the inside players, they would get a lot of chances to go to the free throw line, and they do a lot of outside shooting is kind of the yin and the yang of that, and the offensive rebound for the Dukes, and another miss on the second chance.
And a lot of them have been short shots, layups. I don't know when I've seen so many missed opportunities at the rim.
There's one that finally falls in. It's Drew Fuqua that comes in off the bench to score the 2. A 6'8", 220-pounder from Detroit, Michigan.
He's one of the guys that fouled out in their game against App State.
Cliff Davis, who was a starter back in the lineup for the Dukes. Here's Douglas from the right corner.
What?
He knocks it down.
Did they need that or what? Not just as a team, but Bradley Douglas needed to hit a shot.
That's his 26th three-pointer of the season. He shoots at about 36%. Ball knocked away from Newhoff, but no, he's going to get called for the hold. He had a hand on the jersey. Did the right thing to reach around, but he was holding in the process.
He did, and I thought Fuqua then put his arm out to try to fend off Newhoff, but they got the initial foul.
Newhoff has his first foul, second team foul against James Madison. It's a non-shooting foul.
And Newhoff comes out of the game.
Inbounds comes to Dubinsky, and his shot is off, but another foul will stop the clock.
Duke's foul on number 2,
Bradley Douglas has his first personal, team foul, number 3.
They'll take it out under the basket. And there it is. You can see under the basket, Bradley throwing the Marshall player to the floor.
Ball coming out, Hughie. From the baseline. Another miss. That one gets through. That's got to drive your coach crazy if you're on the defensive side of things. Dubinsky with the bucket.
Yeah, when you get a dead ball rebound like that, it's bouncing off the floor. You got to get that.
Dubinsky averages under 5 points a game. He's got 2 thus far today. They open up the lead back out to 7.
And just before Davis pushed off, the foul was called on Marshall, and they got it on Spear. It was a little too aggressive on defense. But that's a calling card for this team. They can be aggressive like that.
For Spear, that's his first foul. 16 fouls on the Thundering Herd with 8:07 to play here in the first half. Herd shooting has gone down to 36%. 2 out of the last 11. The Dukes have not done much better. 1 out of the last 7. Douglas will try to change that, and he does.
Boy. You're a JMU fan, you love to see that because he really struggled at Arkansas State, and now it looks like he's got his rhythm back, at least for now.
Down in low, and a foul called as going up with a basketball was Fuqua.
Christian Brown, I think, got the foul.
Foul is on Brown, as Steve said. That's his first. It takes us to a timeout. We'll have a couple of free throws when we return. 7:49 to go in the opening half. 20-16, Marshall with the lead.
You know what I miss most about playing? Yelling, "Hey!" So I got this job. Pizza? Hey! Mom! I don't miss that.
Get our biggest pizza, the Big New Yorker, for just $10 at Pizza Hut.
Behind every DIY
is more help than you think.
Sometimes help
is delivered.
And sometimes it's just a tap away. Because do it yourself
doesn't have to mean
all by yourself.
What are you working on?
Welcome back to the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Marshall with a 4-point lead over James Madison, 20-16. Both teams gone a little cool shooting from the field here as of late. Wyatt Bricks, he started off pretty hot for Marshall, and that's one reason that the Herd have led for the most part here in this first half.
We talked about how aggressive both these teams can be, but especially the Herd. They already have 5 steals in this half. They average 6 per game. So, again, defensively, they'll come after you. Keep your eye on Landon Joseph, who's one of their better defensive players. All of them get after it. You saw that when Spear committed the foul. He was all over Douglas, but a little too aggressive. But that's how they play. And it's helped them because they're 10-5 on the season and 2-1 in the belt.
Everybody forgot that was a 2-shot foul coming up.
It's okay if everybody forgets about it. If one guy forgets about it, it's a little embarrassing. As long as the officials know what's happening, we're okay.
One more for Fuqua, who is a 56% shooter at the stripe. And he gets the second. 3 points for the Detroit, Michigan product. Douglas, some pressure applied, but he'll get it across the midcourt stripe. Marshall has 4 players to check in on the next dead ball. 21-16. Marshall 2 out of its last 11 from the floor. Here's Davis. Douglas. Rotation was good, and Brown with a push-off.
Yeah, you could see that. And it's unfortunate because he really didn't need to push off. That ball was so far to the right, he could have easily collared it, but got a little too aggressive, and now we're going to shoot 1-and-1 at the other end.
I don't think so. It should be. That's just the 5th foul against the Dukes. I don't know why they're going to the other end.
I don't know either. They're going to.
Dukes foul on number 0.
Yeah, they're going to take the ball back and throw it in bounds. You might have to give the officials a little bit of a heads up on this, Kurt.
On fouls, on the situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they'll inbound it without any pressure at the opposite end. Landon Joseph will send it in. And he'll bring it on across. He's averaging nearly 24 minutes per ball game, but playing with Spear on the floor, he doesn't get as many opportunities to score, but there's a scoring opportunity by Achuti as he is up to 4 points. He had an outstanding stretch from November the 26th to the 20th of December where he averaged 18.2 points in those ball games, and he raised his scoring average from 9.7 to 13.9. A little lower than that right now. Nice screen set. Douglas knocked away. Fricks has it. Douglas tries to regroup. Fricks can't finish, and a whistle comes when it does not go.
Yeah, a lot of people call that a late whistle. I call it a delayed whistle. The way the officials are, I don't think anything's ever late. I think they're delayed because he's waiting to see if that little bump affected the shot, whether it went in or not, and that foul is called. So I always give the officials credit on that when people say it's a late call. I don't think it's a late call. It's a delayed call.
Coach Preston Spradlin may disagree with that commentary right there, as he is in a pretty heady conversation now with Derek Schulte.
Yeah, he's not happy, clearly.
He's talking about all this hand activity, I think, at the opposite end when JMU is on offense, and then he says, hey, you're calling this. Now, if you look at it, Douglas did get in the passing lane. There's no question. I mean, he got into the lane. I was using that figuratively.
There was some contact, no doubt. But the Dukes really struggling here. They're only shooting 28.5%, 6 of 21 from the field.
Well, Fricks is up to double figures. He's got 10 as he hits a couple of free throws. McBride still trying to get on track. Wilbon back in the lineup, and there he'll go up with authority.
Boy, terrific play by Eli Wilborn.
In a transfer from Duquesne, also spent a year with St. Francis, the Red Flash.
Has yet to score more than 6 points in a game this season, but they could use some help from him in this one.
Joseph fadeaway shot, good looking one.
Absolutely, pretty play. 5 games this season scoring in double figures. Had 22 against Virginia on November 15th.
The double-figure games against Western Kentucky, West Virginia Tech, and Georgia State most recently. Ball knocked away.
This time it's going to go to James Madison, but again, careless with the basketball and nearly turned it over.
That's 7. That will not go down as a turnover, but 7 turnovers against James Madison. Here's Wilborn with the putback.
Yeah, what a great rebound that was.
Wilborn appearing in his 16th game this year. Egbule eyes the three-pointer. 3 to shoot. Gives it to Davis. That's off the iron.
And they'll call a shot clock
Whoa,
violation.
hang on a second. Hang on a second. I think it did hit the iron. It just didn't reset.
Yeah, Garrick Shannon called the shot clock violation. But now he'll get together with Derek Schulte and Rod Dixon to discuss this.
I don't think it was. I think it obviously hit the rim, and I think it was launched before the red light went off.
Yeah, they're going over to the scores table to check this out.
Yeah, it's well in the air with 2 seconds Yeah, that should become an inadvertent whistle, basically.
Yeah, I actually thought he was going to call a foul and not the shot clock violation, and they're going to give the ball to Marshall.
Here's Coach Jackson, again in his second season. Finished up at Marshall in 2001 as a player.
He said they had a rather spirited conversation about what it's like to play in places like James Madison and Old Dominion. So you got to keep the focus, you got to keep the energy. Now again, the students are still out, so most of the folks here are from the area or alumni, not many students. So it's not as rabid in here as it normally is, but still a tough place to play. Oh, they gave it to JMU. They had signaled Marshall.
McBride, he is harassed. Every time he puts the ball on the floor, a Marshall player seems to be there to knock it away. That's 8 turnovers on James Madison.
That's not good, 8 turnovers in a half.
You were talking about the Dukes averaging only a little over 11 per ball game. And certainly on pace to well exceed that.
Yeah, and Marshall has scored 11 points off the 8 miscues, so they're doing what they need to do, and now they're at the line for free throws.
And they've warmed back up again. They've hit their last 3 shots. A couple of free throws coming up here.
McBride comes to the bench, and now he comes back into the game.
Eddie Ricks III wants to check back in for James Madison. Favorable bounce and roll for Achude. Eddie Ricks III back in with 5 points to his efforts thus far. Duhoff reports back in for the Dukes. He has a field goal, a free throw rather. And Achude back to the line. Give him 6. And checking you up, it was Wilborn that put Achude at the free throw line.
11 points, is this the largest lead?
That it would be. Eddie Ricks that rims in and back out.
Again, the Dukes have gotten so close at hitting some of these short shots, but they're just not falling.
Dukes do have a slight edge off the glass at 18-17. Ricks left the basketball behind. Egbele. Oh, he is hammered. Also taking the blow was Joseph. He hit the floor pretty hard as well.
Yeah, I hope they're both okay. That's understatement of the year saying it was a hard foul, but the officials are just saying it's a clean play.
You could just tell by the pace of Egbele, he should have been a little bit more urgent, I think, getting down there. I'm not sure if he knew how.
Either that or he was waiting
for contact.
Yeah. So, I mean, he goes to the line for 2, but you're right. If he sprints down the court, he might have an easy layup.
It's only his 3rd free throw attempt of the season, 0 for 3 in that category. Played 8 minutes against North Carolina Central before the 18 minutes in the game against Arkansas State, and he is in the scoring column with the free throw.
Dukes went 16 of 26 against Arkansas State. Just 62% from the line. Still won the game.
Spear back in there, flips it out. Lost the handle, did Hollenbeck. Otherwise, he was looking for the open shot. Spear on the run, uses the square.
Yeah, and he shot that with the right hand going the other way. That's a tough shot.
Florida A&M is where he started his career, was an all-freshman team member in the MEAC that season.
He's also a great playmaker, Kurt. He's got 7 or more assists in 3 straight games, 4 of the last 5.
And it helped him to earn the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week honor. So he is the reigning POW, Player of the Week. Paul Jones back in. He launches up the three. Fowler fights with it. And it stays in possession of JMU as Huey knocks it out of bounds.
Dukes need to start getting hot from the field and find somebody with a hot hand because they're only shooting 27%. That's not going to win you many games.
Here's Spear with the bucket, and that makes it a 12-point lead, 31-19, largest of the evening.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Since 1959, DuPont Community Credit Union has been more than just a place to bank. We've been building something bigger, a place where you belong. Whether it's through volunteering with local nonprofits, helping families put down roots, or giving businesses the tools to grow, we're here to invest in you and the community we all share. Because at DCCU, it's about creating bonds that go beyond banking. So come join us and bank where you belong.
Toyota is committed to you, our customers, which is why we believe in moving towards sustainability together, giving you the freedom to choose by offering hybrids, our most popular engine, to plug-in hybrids, regular gas options, and 100% electric. All with the affordability that comes from the brand with the best resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
31-19 is our score. Here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center, the Marshall Thundering Herd leading the Dukes of James Madison. Media timeout to get back into the action. There you see what they've done this season, that 1-2 punch of Spear and Ochuti. And what's impressive is the assists per game combined between the two of them. When you put those guys together, nearly 10 assists per game between the two of them.
Yeah, they're one of the top assist teams in the nation, actually. And Spear came into this game with 89 helpers. That's 21st in the nation. So he can do it all. Great play on the inbound.
Eddie Ricks closes the gap just a smidge.
Might give Coach Spradlin some credit on that play he drew up. Worked well.
Execution for the Dukes, and that makes it a 10-point ball game.
There's Spear with a jumper off the glass.
And another opportunity. Spear quickly reloads, and this time he hits it.
And he hit some huge shots in their win against App State. Leads the team in scoring, just under 15 points a game. Back-to-back games scoring 20 or more points. He can play.
We were talking about the assist. He had a career-high 12 assists in the win against Elon, and there's Eddie Ricks again for the Dukes at the rim. He's got 7. Spear stolen by Ricks. Brings it on across. Egbele has to protect the basketball as Huey got a hand on it initially. Newhoff out top.
I think Hughie got a piece of his hand. He almost fouled him.
Egbele, that's a 2-pointer. Coming back in, it's Fowler picking up a loose ball and quickly putting it through the cylinder.
Yeah, Newhoff was battling underneath. He kept that thing alive, and Fowler was able to pick it up.
Yeah, it opened up some space, and he filled the void and put it back up for the Dukes. 34-25. Crossover for Spear. Got away from Davis.
Off JMU. You watch Spear play. He's got so many moves. He's a treat to watch him play because he can do everything.
Comes Bryce Slay back in. His dad, Tamar, played at Marshall, a Hall of Fame member, and you got a chance to call a couple of his games back when he was playing in the NBA.
In the NBA, sure. With the Nets and with Charlotte. Wow, that's unfortunate because Davis fell down and then the Marshall player tripped over him.
That's Harding.
Yep.
Found the obstacle on the floor, couldn't get over it, so a foul goes to Davis, which that is the second against the senior from Thomasville, Georgia.
So we saw Matt Van Komen get a couple of minutes early, the 7'4" player for the Herd. But even like you said earlier, when he's not in there, you bring in Eric Harding at 6'10", sophomore from Charlotte, and he can play as well. So they've got a terrific presence in the paint. Gets a kind bounce there.
And for the Dukes, number 1, Paul Jefferson III.
Only gets about 12 and a half minutes a game. This is his 16th game played this season.
Yeah, season high 7 points twice this year, but he's on a good track here this evening. At the moment, he's got 5.
Doesn't put a lot of rotation on the ball, but he got 2 kind bounces.
Back to an 11-point spread. Quick look there at Coach Jackson on the sideline for Marshall. Jones had shoulder surgery. Quite remarkable. The Dukes did not know if he was going to have a chance to play this year or not. Fowler pulls up, one-handed shot, no good. Skying in, though shooting.
Really good defense by the Herd.
Approaching 1 minute to go in the first half. Marshall jumping out to the 12-2 lead. Looking to go into the locker room up by double figures. Out of bounds, and it'll stay at that end of the court for Marshall with 20 to shoot, 44 on the game clock.
Yeah, Slay gave a little push to one of the Madison players, and Preston Spradlin's not too happy about that either.
Take a look at it once again.
Right there. And Paul Jones wasn't happy about receiving it either.
Well, at the moment, they do not have Spear in the lineup. So pulling up, taking that shot is Joseph, and an easy rebound for the Dukes. Shot clock no longer in effect. Egboulet starts the motion with 13 to Newhoff. So give and go. Newhoff double team, tries to get out of it, loses the basketball into the Marshall bench.
Looks like it'll stay with JMU, and they'll get Bradley Douglas into the game.
Douglas and Davis will come in, so a couple of three-point shooters, offensive players.
4 to shoot.
Fowler also there, a three-point threat. Gets into Ricks.
Well, he got bumped, lost it out of bounds, but they'll give it back to JMU.
So shooting this time there defensively for Marshall.
3.5 seconds on the clock.
Douglas over the top, it goes to Fowler. He launches the three.
That was partially blocked.
It was.
That was a great play by Landon Joseph to come out and block that. And unfortunately for the Dukes, they can't get anything going on the inbounds there. And for the half, just 33% on 10 of 30 shooting, and that's a problem.
Again, Marshall jumping out to the 12-2 advantage. And they, for the most part, have maintained right around double figures in the lead, the largest lead of the ball game at 34-21. That coming with just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half of action. But we're at halftime. Marshall has the upper hand, 36-25.
Wayne Gretzky. Who's Wayne Gretzky?
He was accepted into the Hall of Fame.
That's nice. But with Discover, I get accepted basically anywhere. Oh, I got it, Dwayne Jetski.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
Here you leave today and enter a world of...
Other worlds.
For whatever you love, infinite worlds await.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Atlantic Union Bank Center. The Marshall Thundering Herd, thundering around to a 36-25 lead over the Dukes of James Madison. James Madison playing its first home game since December the 6th. Now, yesterday we learned about the second leg of the Sunbelt MAC Challenge and what the matchups will be. So we're going to run through that for you here. All these games taking place on February the 7th. On the second leg, all of the MAC schools will visit the Sunbelt schools, while the women will head on the road for the Sunbelt. And you see there, App State will be at home against Eastern Michigan, and Bowling Green will travel to Arkansas State. UMass goes down the coastline to face Coastal Carolina in Conway. And then we have in Atlanta, Northern Illinois, so we go from Chicago to Atlanta. James Madison will play Toledo. The Rockets lost to Marshall earlier this year, and that game was in the original aspect of the Sunbelt Challenge with the MAC. And the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana will be at home against Central Michigan. And we flip the script once more. See Ball State traveling to Louisiana Monroe. Marshall entertains Miami of Ohio. That's a pretty short trip, as Marshall at one time was actually in the Mid-American Conference. And then Old Dominion at home against the Bobcats of Ohio. And then we wrap things up here. We're looking at South Alabama at home against Buffalo. Southern Miss will entertain Kent State. Western Michigan is at Texas State. And Akron will visit Troy. So that's the lineup of the men's Sunbelt and MAC Challenge. Again, all those games taking place on February the 7th. Here at halftime, it's Marshall 36, James Madison 25. We'll be back with more of our halftime after these messages. You're watching Sunbelt Men's Basketball on ESPN+.
I got your pizza. Hut!
We should order pizza every game.
Before you watch the biggest games, make sure you've got our biggest pizza in the game. The Big New Yorker for $10. That's how you pizza before the...
That's Wayne Gretzky.
Who's Wayne Gretzky?
He was accepted into the Hall of Fame.
That's nice. But with Discover, I get accepted basically anywhere. Oh, I got it, Dwayne Jetski.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at passthescoreact.com.
Back here at halftime, it's 36 Marshall, James Madison 25, and more of our halftime will follow after these commercial messages on ESPN+.
I got your pizza. Hut!
We should order pizza every game.
Before you watch the biggest games, make sure you've got our biggest pizza in the game. The Big New Yorker for $10. That's how you pizza before the...
Hey, did you find the manual? Yes!
Summon Dale!
Who's Dale?
American Home Show now provides video chat with live repair experts for home fixes over the phone. Let's go fix that oven.
Okay, Dale.
Sign up today at ahs.com.
Marshall 36, James Madison 25 as we get you set for the second half of action here between the Dukes and the Thundering Herd. 12th all-time meeting between these programs. James Madison leads the all-time series 8-3. I'm Kurt Dudley along with Steve Buckhans, also Kathleen Paulson. We'll hear from Kathleen in just a few moments. Steve, you were doing a lot of circling on your stat sheet over there. What'd you come up with?
None of it very good for JMU. They really have to protect the basketball better. They average about 11.5 turnovers a game. They had 8 in the first half, and Marshall took advantage. They scored 13 points off those turnovers. Neither team is burning it up. The Dukes are shooting 31% from the field, Marshall 39%. But again, they're taking advantage of the Madison miscues, like that turnover there, and really Marshall is capitalizing, and that's been one of the big differences in this game. Marshall's a very handsy team, as you can see, and very aggressive on defense, and that's enabled them to get 10 wins on this season. So, look, they're a really good basketball team, and they haven't been fazed by being on the road here in Harrisonburg at all in this first half.
You talk about those turnovers. It's a 13-3 margin, points off turnovers, and the margin happens to be 11 here at the break as well. Eddie Ricks has led the Dukes here in this first half of action as he leads James Madison in the ballgame with 9 points and 3 rebounds. Fowler has 6 boards for the Dukes.
Yeah, they haven't been productive on offense, as you said. Eddie's 4 of 6. Bradley Douglas is 2 of 4. And Preston Fowler 2 of 6. But the Dukes just 10 of 32 from the field. And 31% not very good. They've committed the 8 turnovers. Marshall has only committed 3 turnovers. And both these teams are high in the nation in block shots. The Herd had 3 in that first half. And the Dukes had just 1 by Christian Brown.
All right, let's check in with Kathleen as she had a chance to chat very briefly with the head coaches from both teams. Kathleen, what you got for us?
Thanks, Kurt. At the beginning of the half, I spoke to Coach Spradlin. He said that they have got to make those layups. It's a non-negotiable. And he thought that JMU did okay defensively, keeping up with the pace, but they have got to man up and play tougher. On Marshall's side, Coach Jackson said that his team played well, executed offensively, but they've got to be more aggressive with the rebounds. Overall, he's proud of their first half performance.
Rebound.
Back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kathleen. Sorry about that. Rebounds favoring Marshall just by 1, 22-21. And second chance points, 9 for the Herd, 3 for James Madison.
Herd was picked to finish 6th in the Sun Belt preseason. Of course, JMU number 1. But they came out of the gate hot. They won 5 of their first 6 games. Their only loss was to UVA. Then they got hot. And then they dropped 3 straight before beating Western Kentucky and Wright straight. They lost to Troy and come in here with a 3-game win streak, beating West Virginia Tech, Georgia State, and App State. Those are 3 big wins, and now they come on the road after the Dukes were away for almost a month.
And they open up the 13-point lead. Ochuti with the bucket. Here's Douglas for James Madison. Tries to dribble down inside. Egbele with a start here in the second half of play, too. Douglas draws some attention, and a foul is whistled against the boys in green. And this one goes up against Harding.
Yeah, I was going to say that you had Harding and Spear both reaching in there, and somebody made contact. But like we said, a handsy team. They're aggressive on defense. Dukes have to protect the ball better and make shots.
That was a 3-point try. Good position for Ochuti to get the weak side rebound. Fricks had a hot start. He's got 10 points in the ball game. On 3 of 6, 2 of 4 on 3-pointers. Also with a couple of rebounds. That was in 13 first half minutes. Floater no good. Good box out for Newhoff and the rebound. Egbele with a basketball. No Paul Davis today for the Dukes, which is one reason we're seeing a lot of Egbele. Lewis still nursing an injury. A blocking foul called against the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, and Justin McBride using his body inside. I mean, he's such a big force, and there's contact created. Now, he had an elbow, but Wyatt Fricks was so close to him that the contact was unavoidable, and McBride gets 2.
Ricks has his second personal foul. It's 2 quick fouls here in the second half for the Thundering Herd. And that is the first point tonight for Justin McBride.
Wow, averaging 17 points a game, almost 6 rebounds. Good free throw shooter at 78%.
He was averaging 17 points per game on the road trip since December the 6th, including the 21 points against Arkansas State in the James Madison victory.
And he can hit from the outside, too. He's the only player on the team shooting above 37% from 3. He shoots 46% from long range.
He is 0 for 4 today from the field. A lot of times in the first half, he was putting the ball on the floor, and Marshall was coming up with turnovers.
Well, that's a really heads-up rebound that time by Hollenbeck. Just pure hustle.
Hollenbeck, 6'4", Rapid City, South Dakota. Rebound for Douglas. Douglas looks up the court, nothing to fast break with. So he'll slow it down to Ricks. Ricks over the top to McBride, trying to get it inside, obviously, to James Madison's big fella, and McBride has his first field goal.
Yeah, clearly Preston Spradlin said, look, we're not hitting from the outside. We'd like to. We're not going to stop shooting, but let's get the ball inside to McBride and Newhoff and see what they can do.
Oh, Spear goes up with a shot. Egbele blocked it, and then is called with, I think, the body. We'll get a chance maybe to look at it again. Egbele's first personal foul for the 6'2", fifth-year senior out of Houston, Texas. A transfer from Dickinson State.
Jalen Spear at the line, shooting 2.
Well, I guess from behind there might have been some contact.
It's like he might have got the hand after the fact. Spear knocks it down. He has 6 points.
And for the Dukes, number 10.
2 out of 9 from the floor, 1 out of 5. And here's another look. You couldn't see if there was contact on that one either.
It didn't seem like there was much contact.
Spear, an 84% free throw shooter, cans both, and he's up to 7 points. He has 4 assists today, coming off back-to-back 7-assist outings.
Well, let's see what the Dukes could do with that full court pressure by Marshall. And the foul is called.
You were talking about delayed whistle. That's the case right there. Ochudi getting called on a bump that ultimately ball got free because of the collision as he picks up his first personal foul. And the Herd has 3 here in the second half. McBride, fadeaway shot is good.
Wow, that's a good-looking jumper right there. Just collected himself, faced up, even a little bit of a fadeaway.
He's scored in double figures in 11 straight games. He's only been held to single digits once this season. And a three-pointer from the left corner right in front of his bench. Caleb Hollenbeck is in the scoring column for the first time today with his 36th three-pointer. Eddie Ricks will try to answer, and he does. Ricks is in double figures. He's got 10. And he was held scoreless against Arkansas State, only the first time in his 47-game career with James Madison University. It's a 10-point lead still for the Thundering Herd with 17:23 remaining here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it along with the Dukes and the Herd.
You know what I miss most about playing? Yelling, "Hey!" So I got this job. Pizza. Hey! Mom, I don't miss that.
Get our biggest pizza, the Big New Yorker, for just $10 at Pizza Hut.
That's Wayne Gretzky.
Who's Wayne Gretzky?
He was accepted into the Hall of Fame.
That's nice. But with Discover, I get accepted basically anywhere. Oh, I got it, Dwayne Jetski.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
Marshall maintaining a double-figure lead here at the 17:23 mark of the second half, 43-33. Both these schools also have their women's teams in action, and both have just recently gone final. Marshall has moved to 5-0 in league play, 14-3 overall. They trailed Old Dominion up until the fourth quarter, then came back and won 77-70. Meanwhile, the JMU women, they were down early to Georgia Southern, could not catch the Eagles. It was a 78-70 final in Statesboro as the Dukes take their second loss in conference play. Hollenbeck off the rim, no good. Ball batted around and it's Ricks ripping it down for James Madison.
Yeah, fantastic rebound by Eddie Ricks. This is the second straight game where the Dukes have been down. They were down by 10 points to Arkansas State in the first half. They led at halftime. They were down again by 8 points in the second half and came back to win that game. So another comeback will be needed by JMU. Good pass.
And Newhoff is fouled.
Yep.
Across the arms. This should be the second on Eric Harding, as the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, is called. That's his second non-shooting foul.
How many is that on the team now? Is that 4?
That's 4, yes. Inbounding for the Dukes, Cliff Davis. Started all 16 games for James Madison on this 25-26 ledger. Gets the bounce pass into Newhoff, who'll dribble out. Hands it off to Douglas. Davis. Duke spreading the floor, now getting it inside. Newhoff spins, nice move, and it tumbles on through.
Yeah, I saw him practicing that move in warm-ups, and it played true for him here on that one.
Newhoff last season as an NAIA All-American scored in double figures in all 33 games. Came into tonight's ball game with 2,035 career points. He and Bradley Douglas were recognized before today's ball game for meeting over 2K in career points. Newhoff has it poked away as he's bottling down in with a shoot-a. Inside it goes Douglas. Puts it into McBride, and McBride draws a foul. Let's see who they call it on.
Patience on offense by JMU. Work the ball inside. McBride back to the line for 2.
See if the Dukes can cut into a 43-35 deficit when we return with 15:49 to go in the ball game.
Thank you.
Close to a decade, my brother and I have been serving the Valley with authentic Philly-style cheesesteaks with a great neighborhood vibe. What he said. With a large selection of brews and all your local sports, Ergy's is your home for the only cheesesteak in the Valley with whiz. And now we're bringing it to you. Whether it's your tailgating, your office parties, or your holiday needs at home, Ergy's has you covered for all your catering needs. So order online today or come visit the best neighborhood bar in town. Go Birds!
JMU's professional development program provides organizations and individuals with the chance to strengthen their skills.
James Madison University's professional development program offers courses for individuals who are looking to develop new skills, and we also offer custom corporate training to companies that would like to develop their workforce to prepare them for the next challenge.
Don't miss the opportunity to ignite your team's potential and inspire learning for a lifetime. Learn more about the James Madison University Professional Development Program today.
We all have our own way of waking up. Whatever gets you going, keep doing it. And when it comes to banking, you should get to do things your way too. With someone you trust, who's there when you need them. Atlantic Union Bank.
Here's what we recommend.
Any way you bank.
Atlantic Union Bank, show your JMU pride with a Design Mind debit card. The switch is on.
Neither team lighting it up here, Kurt. Both squads shooting just 38% from the floor. Everything else is fairly even except the free throws. Marshall has 5 more points at the free throw line than JMU does, but McBride can cut this lead to 6 if he can knock down a couple here.
Yeah, actually the Dukes, when you look at it, their shooting has gone up here in the second half.
Yeah.
They're 4 out of 5, so no longer at 31%.
Right.
And getting inside to McBride has been part of that equation.
McBride and Newhoff.
And McBride, all 6 of his points have come here in the second half.
As you said, a good free throw shooter, 78%.
Takes about a half dozen dribbles and sinks it.
Lead cut to 6.
It's been as many as 13 even in this half. Duke's putting a little pressure on. Now they do get it across with about 3 seconds to spare.
And that eats up a lot of the shot clock and forces Marshall to have to get into their rotation here with the shot clock now at 10.
See Slay back out on the court, so a couple of freshmen put in significant minutes here for the Thundering Herd. Spear takes the shot just as the shot clock was expiring, and a foul is called on the Marshall Thundering Herd. It's going to go the other way.
It's on Slay. And again, JMU up high for the rebound, and Slay trying to knock it away is called for the foul.
That's the first on Slay, and team foul number 6.
Yeah.
So we haven't played 5 full minutes yet, and the Dukes are looking at the bonus.
Right, that's a huge factor. What's a bigger factor is making your free throws when you get to the line.
A zone employed by Marshall. Douglas tries to bust the zone. Skying in is Ricks.
Great effort. Terrific effort by Eddie Ricks.
You can't fault him on that one.
Man, he was up high.
Watch this towering attempt. He didn't have any bodies to lean on as the ball got away from him. Here's Spear out top. Takes the shot just outside the free throw line. Ricks had a hand on it initially, but then Harding takes it away. Spear, long range 3, swish.
You knew it was only a matter of time before he started to knock some shots down.
That puts him in double figures with 10. Season high 27 last year against the Dukes when he was 7 for 7 on 3-pointers in the win by the Thundering Herd in Huntington.
Great ball movement by the Dukes. Got to knock it down, and he does.
That's the look you want. That's the rotation and the pretty 3-pointer lofted up by Cliff Davis. A 6-point ball game again. Spear pushes that ball over left side. Little contact, fadeaway shot. Well, both teams starting to heat it up.
Oh, Judy, that's an NBA type shot. You get some contact, create some separation, fall back and hit the jumper.
When he was at Western University, averaged 13 points over 3 seasons at the Canadian University. Again, the zone, outside zone. A foul called on Christian Brown. That is his 3rd.
Yeah, it looked like he might have shoved somebody who had boxed him out. He's not happy with the call, but I think there was some contact there.
Brown, 2nd in the Sun Belt in blocks this season, 29 coming into today. That ties him for 38th in the NCAA. Of course, no block there, but he's a physical player. Just needs to learn to play a little tempered now and then, under control.
Yeah. He had a couple of huge blocks in the win at Arkansas State late in that game.
It'll come. He's a rookie. Needs to get over the screen. Ball bounds around, and look at Spear comes out of nowhere and comes up with the basketball. Ochuti up and under, lays it up and in. That one's from the playground.
What a move. Fantastic play by Ochuti.
And it's suddenly back to a 10-point spread.
Yeah, Dukes had it cut to 6, couldn't get any closer.
At zone, they busted it once with the bucket from the outside from Davis. This time they get it in the corner to Fowler, and Fowler puts it down. It's his first tray of the night, 20th on the season, a 33% shooter from beyond the arc. Make it a 7-point ball game. 12-15 to go. Spear, that's well off the mark. That ball didn't hit the iron. Dukes come up the board.
Yeah, they did a nice job to pick that off.
This time the Dukes get down before they can set up the zone defense. And it is Douglas that takes it to the rim.
Yeah, that's what he can do. Shifty player, got underneath the basket, didn't give up on the play and hit it off the glass.
Ochuti calls out the play that he picked up from his head coach.
Dukes cut it to 5.
Clay with a dribble out top. He's going to loft up the 3.
Wow.
That's his first bucket of the night. Three-pointer number 6 on the season. You might say they concede that shot because he's only hitting at 29%. But I think they ran the play nicely.
2 in a row.
Fowler in double figures. He was 6 for 8 in a victory over Omaha back in the early portion of the season. An 88-77 win for the Dukes down in Florida. That was during the Thanksgiving weekend.
Wow, what a shot. Fuqua from the corner.
That's
nails
his
a
first
3.
That is now 7 trays, 7 out of 23. The Dukes are 6 out of 19. That comes off a little flat. Last touch by the Dukes. Christian Brown had a fingernail on it.
And Corney Jackson has so much depth with his team, with Joseph and Hugie, Fuqua, Slay, and Harding. This is a very deep Marshall team.
Noah Ochuti helping to light things up here for the Marshall Thundering Herd as he goes into this timeout with 12 points, 5 of 9 from the floor, 5 rebounds. He also has an assist in 28 minutes.
The Disney Resorts Collection is the most magical place to stay at the most magical place on Earth. And with extra time at any of the 4 theme parks, why would you stay anywhere else? Start saving today.
You know what I miss most about playing? Yelling, "Hey!" So I got this job. Pizza? Hey! Mom! I don't miss that.
Get our biggest pizza, the Big New Yorker, for just $10 at Pizza Hut.
Of course, coaches go all over the country to recruit players, and for Marshall, they've got 2 that spent some time in Wyoming. Let's join Kathleen.
Thanks, Kurt. On Marshall's side, juniors Drew Fuqua and Caleb Hollenbeck played together at Gillette at Wyoming and were teammates. And they actually transferred together to Marshall last season. At Gillette, Fuqua averaged 15.5 points per game, and Hollenbeck averaging 10.4 points per game. Both described their relationship as a brotherhood, and Coach Jackson even said that they became roommates at Marshall and match each other's energy on and off the court. Back to you.
Steve, do you remember the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I believe I saw that 4 or 5 times.
Did you remember the Devil's Tower?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very close to where Gillette College is located.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the northeast corner of Wyoming. Not too far, actually, from South Dakota. Dukes have put Wilborn back in the lineup, trailing it by 8. Douglas to Wilborn, and a reach-in foul called. That is number 3 against Wyatt Fricks.
And that is the 7th team foul.
Marshall foul on number 2.
You know, teams that have active hands, when they start calling fouls against them, they go, what am I doing?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have active hands. You got to keep from reaching in and committing a foul. But now JMU is in the 1-and-1, at least the 1-and-1 for another 10 minutes in this regulation. And Wilborn at the free throw line for the 1-and-1.
The Dukes are 71% free throw shooters this season. And Wilborn goes to the stripe. Just 3 out of 9. Egbele will check back in for James Madison. So he's out front along with Davis.
It's twice that Wilborn has played for a team whose nickname is the Dukes.
Dukes get the offensive rebound. Fowler that comes up with it. Here's Davis, dribbles in the lane. Smack of the backboard, but the ball will fall through. even with the contact. 7 points for Davis.
Had to go high up off the glass for that one, and the lead again is 5.
Marshall with the lead by a handful. The ball kicked out. It was last touched by the Dukes. Fowler says nope. He didn't touch it, but they will not review it. There is the chance to review.
Well, he wants to review. Every player wants to review.
Absolutely. Yeah, sort of like that active hands thing I was just talking about. Nice little spin move. Ochuti too strong. Rebound. Wilborn rips it away and gives it up to Davis. Dukes have a chance to get as close as they've been for quite some time.
Yeah, a couple times they've cut it to 5, and this is as close as they've been.
Egbele.
Bad time for a turnover.
Yes, he was looking for Wilborn to peel out and was hoping and just kind of lead him into the pass, but those are two guys that haven't spent a lot of time in real game action with each other. They certainly have in practice. That might have been part of the reason for the Dukes. Another turnover, and that is number 9 from the corner.
That's a killer. That's a killer. The Dukes had a chance to cut it to 3 or perhaps 2. Instead, it goes back up to 8.
Circle that portion of the ball game. Key moment.
Yep.
Ricks to Davis. Davis long range tray. You could see it was off the mark.
Yep.
And bodies falling down as Wilborn goes over everybody for the foul. That is number 2 on number 25 as Spear hit the deck.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the downside of Wilborn when he comes to the floor.
No, Spear at 186, Wilborn at 252. That's a defensive tackle tracking down a running back.
They might have used him at Oregon.
They could have, possibly.
Speaking of that, how fantastic was that whole football? Let me tell you, as an alumni, we were very proud of what this team did on the gridiron. Phenomenal.
I was talking to another person here that's a North Carolina graduate that was in Denver during all of that and came across a lot of JMU fans in the process. So people heading out west because of that. And Ochuti again with a bucket. He's got 14.
Well, if you're a Carolina fan, you don't want to bring up JMU too often after they laid 70 on them.
That game also came up in the conversation. I did not initiate it, however. I will say that. Those two programs will get together again. At least it's on the docket for another venture. Yes, back down to Carolina.
Good.
Davis. Fade away. Can't get it to fall. Wilborn tried to curl it. Look at Davis getting on the floor, and we get a timeout call. What was the call here?
I think a timeout.
Timeout is awarded to Marshall.
Yep. They had possession and alertly called the timeout. They would have. Now they've switched the possession arrow. The arrow was favoring Marshall before that play was called. I think they got to switch that back.
All right, we're going to a timeout with 8:05 to go, and again backed up to a 10-point lead for the Thundering Herd. 61-51 is our margin.
I'll have the burger. Actually, I'll have the chicken.
I feel like everyone's looking at us. Told you that barber was legit.
61-51, the Marshall Thundering Herd leading the Dukes of James Madison. Sun Belt game number 4 for both teams. The Dukes 1-2 in league play. Marshall 1-2-1. And look at the first place rankings in some very important categories.
Yeah, look at the blocks, 5.5. They've got 3 of them in this game, but they are ranked in the top 20 in the nation in blocks per game, number 1 in the Sun Belt. just ahead of JMU, who's number 2. And also ranking the top 100 schools in the country in three-pointers made, three-pointers attempted, and three-point percentage. Both teams around 40, 42%. The Dukes come up with it.
Here goes Douglas. Has to peel back out. Slay on his hip. Dukes have both big men in there. They give it up. Working McBride draws a lot of attention. Somebody's got to be open somewhere. There it is.
Nice call.
Wilborn finds himself below the block and puts in the deposit here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center, 61-53. Spear, 13 points, 4 of 15 though, 3 of 10 on three-pointers. That's lost on the way up.
Knocked out of bounds by Wilborn.
Wilborn the last to touch it.
Give Marshall some credit. The Dukes cut it to 5 a couple of times, and then the Herd came back and hit some big, big shots to stretch it to 10. It's now 8.
Kind of looked like what happened. I was keeping an eye on the women's game at Georgia Southern, and JMU would make a little run, and Georgia Southern would push right back out to double digits. It just seemed to be that way the entire night in that ball game, and similar circumstances here in Harrisonburg. Spear, 4th on the shot clock, and a trip will bail him out with 3 seconds on the shot clock. As sailing on the floor is Ochuti.
Dukes foul on number 25, Eli Wilborn.
It's Wilborn. That is the 3rd personal foul on the JMU junior.
They're going to wipe up some sweat here, and Marshall will get the ball under their own basket. There's a replay. A little bit of contact.
And some fouls are just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because there was 3 on the shot clock. So you're playing good defense. You want to stick with it and not commit a foul late in the clock. Marshall had a 17-point lead on App State and let it slip away the other day as the Mountaineers cut it to 2, but then again, the Herd hit some big shots down the stretch and won that game. JMU came back a couple of times from deficits at Arkansas State, and they hung on for their first conference victory.
Ball will come on back out. Ochuti against Wilborn, cuts him off at the baseline. Does so again. May have got a piece of it, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to score.
What a shot. That was great defense by Wilborn and a better shot from Ochuti.
Ochuti is up to 16 points. 7 of 13 from the field. Only 1 3-point try. He missed that one. McBride, turnaround shot.
Woo.
Wow.
I mean, that was a forced shot because he had double teams on him. And that's happening now every time you see a guy spin in the lane, even in the NBA. They're double teaming, knowing that spin is coming. And it can really throw you off. You got to be ready to pass it.
McBride to 9 points. Trying for the triple on the outside. Spear in and out. Douglas gives it up. McBride against Bricks. Bumps with him. Fade away. Tapped around and off the fingertips. Spear will come up with it. Rebound situation is Marshall 34 to 31. Second chance points favoring Marshall 14 to 8. Points off turnover, big margin there. 16-4 favoring the Thundering Herd, and a kick of the basketball resets the shot clock to 20 seconds with 5:35 to go.
Gabe Newhoff into the game for Wilborn.
And Harding back in for the Thundering Herd. Toss way back out to the top. Down to 9 to shoot. Spear goes through everybody. Rebound, grab, it's Davis.
That's what you got to do. Get some stops and then convert at the other end. Now that was a little push there by Ochuti, but the Dukes will regain possession.
The Dukes trying to get down before the defense could be set up again for the Thundering Herd. Dukes lead the series 8-3. JMU has the longest winning streak. They've won the last 4.
Fuquay into the game for the Herd.
Or they've won 4, I should say. The last was in the first meeting between these programs, a 4-game winning streak in the series.
They've done a nice job on Bradley Douglas. He hasn't gotten many open looks. Spear can be credited for much of that.
But Douglas only taken 6 shots, and that's stolen away by Fricks.
That's not a good time for a turnover with 4:55 to play in regulation.
And the Dukes are in double-figure turnovers. They've done a nice job here in the second half, all in all, with minimizing the turnovers.
Yep.
But as you say, the timing is everything. That's going to go as a turnover. Backcourt violation, so the Dukes will get the ball back as Spear and Fuquay can't connect.
In for Marshall, number 9, Shamari
Hugie coming back into the game.
Hugie,
he'll replace Fuquay.
Yeah, from Savannah, Georgia. Cowley College from 23 to 25, 2 seasons there. Second teamer at the junior college level. He averaged 14 points a ball game.
Garrick Shannon imploring Slay to put the jersey back into his trousers.
McBride, long range 3. Fowler. Out of bounds.
He had it for a minute but couldn't control it. Good hustle. Wasn't a great shot from McBride that time.
It's a long range shot, but he looked like he really
kind of
he wasn't really underneath that ball.
No, that's a tough jump shot from that distance.
Fricks on the move, kicks it out right side. Newhoff lost his footing. Foul on Fowler, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was going to be a slam dunk, but Newhoff went down, and that created an opening to the basket for the Herd.
That's the first personal foul on the freshman from Connecticut. Went to Brewster Academy. In double figures here this evening is Fowler with 10 on 4 of 8 shooting, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc, and has grabbed 8 rebounds. That's a Division I high. He had 9 against Division III Washington and Lee. His prior career high against a Division I opponent was 6. Doing some work on the other side. Trainers working on Eric Harding. It looks like he's down on the floor stretching some things out. You can see him there in our shot.
Yep.
Rob Fulford, Steve Snell, Isaiah Carson, and Ryan Taylor making up the coaching staff for Corny Jackson. And Fricks will try to put more distance.
.76% free throw shooter from the line. Gets the second, had his 3rd straight game with 15 or more points against Appalachian State. He had 16 in that game.
He has 11 in this ball game.
And he had 6 rebounds in that one, too.
Down inside it goes to Newhoff. Bumps Fricks.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the height advantage and the size advantage on that one. And used his body nicely to get an easy 2.
Marshall milking the clock a bit here.
Yeah, they're content to just slow it down. 7-point lead. 3.5 to play in regulation.
Shooty spin move off the iron. It's Newhoff. Here comes Douglas. Stop and go. Finds himself open. But there's McBride with a putback.
And a quick timeout from Preston Spradlin with the lead back to 5 again with 3:07 to play.
The Dukes have been here before, but this time the timeouts to get set up defensively. Plenty of time in this ball game. 3:07 to play.
Toyota is committed to you, our customers, which is why we believe in moving towards sustainability together, giving you the freedom to choose by offering hybrids, our most popular engine, to plug-in hybrids, regular gas options, and 100% electric. All with the affordability that comes from the brand with the best resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Glow Fiber is proud to support the JMU Dukes. Have you experienced simply brilliant fiber internet? That's Glow Fiber, lightning-fast internet that keeps up with your busy life. A reliable fiber-to-the-home network whether you're working, learning, playing, or streaming. Glow Fiber has real local support from real people who are happy to talk to you. Switch now for your first month free. Faster, more reliable fiber internet with real local support. Glow Fiber, simply brilliant. Go Dukes!
He's from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. So he has come south of the border to play his college basketball, at least this portion of it. And he has been good here today for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Noah Ochuti.
Yep, good player. They got a lot of them. We talked about Shamari Hugie, who came from JUCO in Kansas. And his philosophy as a bench player, he said, it's all about doing your job, not counting your minutes, but making your minutes count.
That was a good quote.
Great quote.
His coach was, Coach Jackson, he beamed, you know, when he said that beside him.
It was one of the best quotes I've heard in a long time.
It was indeed a good one. Here is Spear. They do like to have the basketball in his hand down the stretch. He can't get it to lay up and in. And Wilborn takes over with the possession. So the Dukes with another opportunity
to cut it to 3 or 2.
So they got the stop they needed. Ricks thought about it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to shoot it.
Wilborn hands it off to Douglas. Gets a screen.
Well, they just...
Ooh, it rolled in there. He's a little slow to get to it. Wilborn, great position, though, and that is a foul on Pricks.
Yeah, he'll go to the line for 1 and 1.
Oh, wait a minute. Did they call it a jump ball?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I mean, you talk about a guy that's draped over your back. Goodness.
Well, the good news is James Madison gets a new shot clock and keeps possession.
Yeah, Spradlin is clearly not happy.
That could have been foul number 4 on Fricks.
I mean, he's literally draped on his back. And that's a block.
Whoa, and one.
See if they score it.
Let's see. Wasn't quite sure about that call personally as well, and neither was Coach Jackson. He had made his way nearly down to the midcourt stripe.
I'm not sure Garrett Shannon is certain. I think they're going to give him 2 shots. Boy, they could have called an offensive foul on McBride, too.
That's what I thought was actually coming there, Steve, to be honest with you.
No, they did count the field goal.
Yes, they did. They're just going to send him to the line to shoot 1. Well, the Dukes finally have cut the gap to less than 5.
There it is. 2-point game, 2:20 to play.
This is where you need the stop.
Ooh, close to a travel.
Sometimes it looks like Ochuti is just on roller skates. He's so smooth with the basketball. Fans here today getting into it. Blocked! Wilborn out of bounds. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ochuti to trigger in after they wipe out a little bit of the sweat on the baseline.
Don't let anybody get in the paint on this inbounds if you're JMU.
Get it into Fuqua. Wilborn denies in the baseline. Fricks lost his footing but keeps the dribble.
1 second, they don't get it off. Dukes come up big on defense when they needed to. Force the turnover. And a chance now to take the lead.
151. The only lead James Madison has had today was scoring the first bucket of the evening.
Early in the game.
Crowd making its presence known here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Most are standing on their feet. And right now you got a lot of the regulars, I'll say, on the floor for James Madison. As it is crunch time. Douglas with the basketball.
They'd love to get somebody an open shot from 3, but they'll take anything.
Here goes McBride to the rim. It is blocked. Nice anticipation, Fuqua.
Huge block.
Spear.
Yeah, he thought about it.
Smart move not to take that shot. They can get that shot later in this possession if they want it. 15 to shoot. Thumbs up is the call from Ochuti. He's asking for the screen from Fuqua. Now they'll give it up to Spear. He'll chuck it up. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound, it's McBride under control. 1 minute to play. Douglas will walk it up. He'll take a look at the bench, and he wants a timeout, does Coach Preston Spradlin. And James Madison will get it, stopping the clock with 51.6 seconds to play.
So they had an opportunity before this to take the lead. It's Corny Jackson's out on the court talking to Garrett Shannon. But Madison with the chance a minute ago and a great block by the Herd to thwart that opportunity. And now the Dukes get another chance at it.
Corny Jackson continuing to press his case with Derek Shannon. Again, 51.6 seconds remaining. Been some tight ball games in this series. The margin of defeat, the slimmest margin for James Madison this series was a 2-point loss, 80-78 last January in Huntington. That game in which Spear pumped in 27 points and hit 7 3-pointers.
Dukes will face Old Dominion here on Saturday and look for revenge after ODU got that game. They went up by as many as 17 in the second half. The Dukes went on a big run. They came back, but couldn't hang on at the end.
And that game here on Saturday afternoon, the Monarchs and the Dukes, that is a 4 o'clock start time in the Royal Rivalry Challenge. There's only one other conference game played here on this Wednesday night around the Sun Belt. And Justin McBride, he was quiet in the first half, but he is in double figures here in the second.
Yeah, they made a concerted effort to go to him, and he can hit from the inside or the outside. Obviously a big body, tough turnaround shot there. But like I said, at halftime, clearly Spradlin said, look, Justin, you got to try to take over just a little bit, work your big body inside, score the field goal. He went to the line for the three-point play. And the Dukes as close as they've been at 64-62.
That's 12 straight ball games. McBride has been in double figures. Transfer directly from Nevada, but started his career with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. One of those coast-to-coast guys.
Let's see what is in store here with 51 seconds to play, 51 and a half.
Dukes will have Douglas, Ricks, Davis, McBride, and Wilborn. Interesting watching a lot of Wilborn and McBride out on the floor at the same time today. With a thundering herd, Fricks, Fuquay, Ochuti, Hollenbeck, and Spear.
See what Spradlin drew up here to try to get this bucket. Field goal ties it, a three-pointer takes the lead.
Plenty of time on the possession clock, 19 seconds to shoot. Derek Schulte will hand the basketball to Eddie Ricks. Ricks gets it over to his point guard, Douglas. Ricks came way out there with
good
McBride.
pressure. Good pressure by Marshall.
And McBride down the baseline, just going in, and another block attempt. Same situation. Fuquay again gets there to knock it away.
Yeah, it's a great defensive play because McBride is just using his body, going baseline, trying to muscle his way in and hopefully get a foul called, but they didn't.
To the sideline, 7 to shoot. McBride is going to have to take the shot. He does so. No iron. Wilborn has to shoot it. He does not realize that the shot clock was about to expire.
Again, give credit to Marshall for the pressure defense, forcing James Madison to take a bad shot.
2 seconds between game clock and the shot clock.
Now you just got to play tough defense and hope you can force a turnover. You don't want to foul, obviously.
Davis went for the steal, but it goes into the mitts of Spear. 2-point lead for Marshall in the basketball. Ochuti, and a foul is called. Ochuti got poked in the eye.
Yeah, I think Davis is going to get the foul called on him. And hopefully Ochuti's okay.
If that's on Davis, only his third, and for the Dukes, just their 6th. So they did have the foul to give. So we'll see it here. And there's just a scrape of the face, Eddie Ricks.
Yep. And then here comes Davis, who reaches in there. Looked like he got the ball, but some contact. And it'll be Marshall ball on the side. Here's another look at it. Watch Davis coming from behind. And that's where they called the foul.
Right to the clock now, 23.3 seconds of game action left, 21 on the shot clock. Hollenbeck will trigger in front of some of the JMU fans here on the court side. Guarded by Davis. Spear comes off the screen with Ricks on him. And Ricks creating the foul. That is the foul on Ricks. And that is his first. Will send Spear to the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be aggressive. You want to try to get a steal. But you don't want to commit a foul if you don't have to. In the meantime, you're sending the best free throw shooter to the line. Spear at 84%, a chance to put his team up by 4.
20 seconds to go in the ball game too. Time is certainly important for James Madison as he misses the rebound. Spear, he had it initially, and is that a backcourt? They say no, it was touched. All bunch of a scramble, and a foul finally is called.
Now you have to commit the foul, but boy, not getting that rebound off the missed shot was huge for JMU, and even bigger for Marshall.
I'd like to see that ball come back out again if we've got a chance to look at that rebound before, well, we're going to have a couple of free throws coming up here.
Yeah, Landon Joseph will go to the line. His parents are here. His aunt and uncle are here watching. He is a 74% free throw shooter.
His parents from Florida and his aunt and uncle from nearby Richmond.
Yeah, folks came up from Fort Lauderdale. And now they've switched the free throw shooter. It's going to be Wyatt Fricks, who is a 76% shooter from the line.
And he misses, and Wilborn cannot control it.
Wow. That's twice JMU with an opportunity to get a rebound off a missed free throw, and they can't get either one of them, and that could be the ball game.
Here's the replay on this one. And was it Wilborn? Or was it Fuqua?
And for the Dukes, number 10, Cliff Davis.
And another angle at it.
Yeah, I think it's Wilborn who's the last to touch it.
Yeah, Dukes did have one timeout remaining, but they didn't want to waste it on what they weren't sure of as far as, because if they lose that review, they also lose that timeout.
Eddie
Ricks,
Ricks,
really sure about it.
Meantime, commits a foul on the inbound pass. And there'll be another opportunity for the Herd to shoot 1-1. Unless we're in the bonus, I haven't checked. I think we are.
No, not yet. Not yet.
The officials are checking.
This is still a 1-1.
Yeah,
Dukes
still a
have
1-1.
nine fouls.
So they've missed 2 straight 1-1 opportunities. And here's Spear. Gets that one.
Big shot there.
Yeah,
That's 14 points.
He wasn't going to miss 2 in a row.
And that makes it a 3-point game. Here is the 2-possession free throw. And he hits it.
Well, the Dukes had their chances on 2 missed 1-1 opportunities by Marshall, but unable to get the rebound off the missed free throw. Gives the Herd second opportunities, and in fact the third one that Spear capitalizes on to give his team a lead by 4 with 8.4 seconds to play in regulation.
These two teams will meet again not too long from now. They'll meet again on the 17th of January. The 4 o'clock game in Huntington. Marshall will be the host, obviously, for that ball game.
Dukes, a little bit of a struggle here lately. A loss here tonight, and they dropped 4 out of their last 5.
Coming up for the Marshall Thundering Herd. And its next ball game. Four-point difference with 8.4 to play. James Madison with the basketball.
Yeah, you got to hit. You don't have to hit a 3. You just got to get a basket and then commit a quick foul. But you got to get this inbounds and get it down the court and score quickly.
And Marshall's next game, they're at Georgia State, so they head to Atlanta. Face the Panthers at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Douglas leaves it for Wilborn, and he is fouled and 1.
So he'll have a chance to cut it to 1.
But only 1.5 seconds to go.
It's a great play. Terrific pass by Douglas. And they do what they needed to do, but again, it took them 7 seconds to get the ball down the court.
Foul was on Fuqua. JMU uses its final timeout. That last timeout prior to was the last for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you make the free throw, then Marshall gets the ball. Do you try to miss the free throw and either tip it in or grab it in the air and shoot it? I mean, you can see what Spradlin is saying. I mean, at this point, I don't think you have much choice other than to miss it and try to either tip it in or maybe get a rebound and get fouled on a putback. Because if you make the free throw, Marshall's just going to inbound the ball, and you're either going to foul them or the game's going to be over.
And it's missing a free, we talk about making and missing free throw. Purposefully missing a free throw is not easy.
That's right.
It is not something that you practice. And if you do, you don't practice all that much at it.
No. Only for rebounding purposes. And they bring in
yes.
Van Komen the 7'4" guy to get a rebound.
Smart move there for Coach Jackson and company. Let's get a big guy in there that can grab a board.
Yeah, you got to try it. Well, it's, like you say, it's not easy to miss it and have it bounce off the back of the iron, so you have a chance for it.
Brown has come in for the Dukes.
There it is.
There it is, yep.
Oh,
no foul
wow.
and all of that. Whoa.
Wow.
My goodness. Coach Spradlin not happy with no call at the end. Marshall celebrates the 66-64 win. And I think we'll get a chance to take a look at that again.
I hope so. You know, officials are reluctant to decide a game on a foul in the last second. And it's a bang-bang situation.
You're right.
We'll see on the replay. And again, the replay is going to show us more than maybe the officials even saw, but it happened so quickly. But here it is.
It's a good angle of it, too.
I didn't see much. I didn't see much in terms of a foul. The only thing I saw, well, there's a lot of pushing going on underneath. Here's a really good angle. That's all ball. That's Van Komen, who played, what, 2-3 minutes, comes in at the end. Great strategy by Corny Jackson to get his big man in the game, and he gets the biggest block of the night.
Well, and also when we talk about the officials too, they know these circumstances. They know there's going to be a lot of contact in there. They're keeping a really close eye on things, and even though you got that mass of bodies in there, it's got to be really flagrant for them really to call it in that circumstance, because otherwise it could be a guess. All right, so Coach Corny Jackson is the victorious coach, and we also have Kathleen that is caught up with the winning coach for Marshall. Kathleen.
Coach, what a finish. What was going through your mind in those last few seconds?
Rebound the basketball. We went with our biggest lineup, one of our biggest lineups, and we just wanted to rebound the basketball.
And your team led the entire night. What does that say about this team's energy on the road?
I thought we played pretty well. You know, we were out a starter with Big Matt Van Komen. He played probably a minute and a half. We had some guys step up, but you know, we have that mentality, and it's a huge win. You know, Coach Preston does a great job here at JMU. This is a big-time program, so I'm happy that we were able to come in here and come out on the winning side.
And what are your main takeaways from this game moving forward?
Excuse me?
What are your main takeaways from this game moving forward?
We just have to keep getting better, stay with the process, keep taking it day by day. We want to win each day to give us the opportunity to win on game day.
Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, thank you there, Kathleen. Steve, what you got to say about this one as we wrap it up here?
Well, you know, both teams shot poorly in the first half. JMU at 31%. So neither team was going to get a big edge, but because of some three-point shots and some free throws, Marshall was able to get a lead a couple of times. Their largest lead was, what, 12?
13.
13, yeah. And the Dukes battled back, as they've done in the last couple of games, but unable to make big rebounds was really the difference on those two one-and-one situations. Madison had a chance to get a rebound and then come down and really take the lead, and they just could not get the rebounds off those missed shots. And then you sent Spear to the line to shoot one-and-one, and you knew he wasn't going to miss two in a row. So it was a hard-fought game, physical game as to be expected. Neither team shot the ball particularly well, but Marshall did what they had to do to hang on and win this contest.
It's interesting for James Madison. The Dukes averaged nearly 76 points per game. For Marshall, nearly 81 points per game. Basically a low-scoring affair, which you oftentimes get when it comes to conference opponents because you know each other pretty well. But what I find interesting, Steve, is this was a game of streaks of streaks, either very good offense or very poor offense, or streaks where you and neither one could overcome the other, other than Marshall was just out front most of the game.
And that's one of the reasons why it was a low-scoring game, because neither team shot the ball particularly well, especially in the first half was kind of ugly. But JMU had their chances, but again, Marshall, very resilient. They're an excellent defensive team, and they showed that the other night in their victory against App State. They showed it here tonight against JMU.
Well, Marshall will try to extend their winning streak to 5 in a row as they will head to Atlanta to face Georgia State coming up this Saturday at 4 o'clock. The Dukes are back here at home as they entertain Old Dominion. JMU now 8-8 overall and 1-3 in league play. The Thundering Herd has improved to 11-5 and 3-1 in conference play. My thanks to Brett Beecham, Sports Information Director here at James Madison, and Cody Lynn, Sports Information Director for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Our producer today, Kelly Bowmaster, and thanks to all the crew from the JMU Sports Network. Steve, we'll have you back here on Saturday.
Can't wait to come back to the Berg. It felt like Boca Raton here today at 66 degrees. I'm loving it.
It was very nice indeed. For Steve Buckhantz and Kathleen Paulson, I'm Kurt Dudley, and all of us at the JMU Sports Network say so long tonight as Marshall defeats James Madison 66-64 here in Harrisonburg. This has been a presentation of the JMU Sports Network for the Sun Belt Conference and ESPN+. Good night, everyone.